So, welcome today to our podcast where we have the pleasure of speaking to Itzhak Bachar. He's an attorney in Aventura and he specializes in personal injury in cases of trip and fall and slip and falls and also traffic cases. And I'm so excited to talk to you, Itzhak, because we were talking a little bit before, and just is interesting how even people don't think about how personal injury attorney can have good advice from the since you've done litigation, you can see how you can prevent anything for any business owners. But first, before we get into that, I always like to tell people that, yes, I'm a lawyer, but at the same time I own my law firm, so I'm a business owner, so I can actually think like business owners. And that's the best way, I think, when we shut off our legal head, our legal mind, and we start thinking more like our business owners. That's when we do better in business. So can you please tell me and our listeners your business journey, how you end up being your own owner of your own law firm?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you, Claudia, and I'm really glad to have met you and know about you and your business and giving tax advice. And I can always use that and also refer you some clients, hopefully. But it's always good to have a tax attorney on your side. So
Thank you.
so I've been an attorney since 1989. So I've been doing this for a long time. I graduated from University of Florida. So I took the regular route, usually that people take when they leave law school. They go on law clerk and go work with a firm. So I initially started with a criminal attorney that I just clerked for him for a little while, which gave me, I used to be a criminal justice major, so it was very interesting to me to start with that. And I was with him, and he had some interesting cases, and I was there for only a couple of months. I saw that uh, maybe there are more things that in real life that you have to deal with, such
Mm-hmm.
as clients that are actually guilty and confess that they're guilty, and how do you get around in feeling, your conscience will bother you, but I guess you overcome it once they pay you. But beside that, so I worked for another guy that was a general practice attorney, um, and he was a very small firm, but he did everything. And this is where I learned most of what I did initially when I started on my own. So he
Okay.
did family, he did immigrate. I brought actually immigration because I had my niche. I was born in Israel, so I spoke Hebrew fluently, and I had people in the community that knew me. So I started bringing clients to him and started doing immigration there. And also we did family law, a lot of family law,
Mm-hmm.
and some personal injury. So eventually, when I saw that he wasn't able to give me any advancement, and I was doing a lot of the work myself. I liked him a lot, and he had he had his mom in the office, which made it a little bit difficult because she was always
Oh,
commenting things.
yeah. Can imagine.
After 2 years that I worked for him, I believe 2 years, then I decided that it was time for me to open on my own. And I got people that encouraged me. He said, "I'll be your first client," and business owners. So I did. I opened my own office in 1982.
But I
1982.
know I saw it. You've been
So
on your
yes.
own for a while.
1982, and I did basically everything. I just like I learned from that attorney. It was a lot of gratitude to him for that. But I also started something that he didn't do, which was immigration. So I started doing immigration to a
Mm-hmm.
lot of business owners and Israelis. Most of them Israelis because I was born in Israel, and it was easier for them. There were not many attorneys. I don't think there were any attorneys maybe that did at that time what I did. Maybe one person, and so I had a lot of clients from that respect, and I also had some business litigation
Mm-hmm.
uh, matters that were brought to me because of different businesses that were either being sued or suing others to collect some funds or to enforce a contract or so. Anyhow, so I did also personal injury, and eventually, because the immigration field was, there came out laws that really restricted the field that I was dealing with. I decided to focus on something that was not dependent on people on their hourly, hourly bill or anything like that, that they have to bill them. It was very difficult concept for
Mm-hmm.
people to understand the hourly billing. So I decided to do what I liked a lot, which was personal injury. And I had the traffic also, the traffic matters that I used to take care of, which is regular traffic tickets and
Mm-hmm.
also criminal traffic tickets.
Yeah.
And I used to be very, I'm not showing off, but I used to be very good at it.
It's okay to show up. It's okay to.
No, so I basically took the clients and started my firm in 1982, and then it started until about 15 years ago. I said that 15 or 13 years ago I decided to just do personal injury and traffic, not to do it. Took some time, let me
Mm-hmm.
15 years ago, and then it took about 2 years to really move to exclude any other cases.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very tough step. It was very tough. It was not easy step to just go on your own. And I mean, just to do personal injury, because it's on percentage basis. That
Yeah.
means you don't get paid by the client. You don't get the hourly. You have to wait until you resolve the case in order to win an award
Cool.
and get compensation for you and the client. So
Well,
it took me time, but
yeah.
I did.
I know,
And
but I like how you're showing, because I think we always evolve as business owners, right? We always and I think our business is always changing. If you're not changing, you're not growing. The
right.
opposite
And
of change and growth is death.
I
So I love
think
how you show that you
right,
change your practice and how it is
right. And I
it
think
ended up
it's
being
very
where it is.
important. It's very important to any business owner, and I'm still learning because I'm
Yeah.
trying to also get more clients to tell now, because now the area is saturated with personal injury attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
Advertise on billboards and stuff, and it's very tough to compete. Also, the
Mm-hmm.
pay-per-click, it's very
Yeah.
tough to compete. So you have to be unique. You have to do different things. So I think that for as business owner, any business owner, I think that the willingness to evolve and to change is very crucial.
Yeah, and it was before we were even talking about the different marketing that we do. We were talking about things that we do and giving each other.
Right.
So I think even people don't realize that you can also, your lawyers that own their business, they're also thinking about a lot of the same things that you're thinking as a business owner.
Right.
So
And I think what you're doing is great, and I might adopt it myself. So
like I said, we'll give you all the tips and all the things that we've learned throughout the way. We'll be happy.
Sounds good.
And like you said, you've been practicing for like over 27, 30 years. I'm sure you have some really
4 years.
wow. So I'm sure you have some really cool war stories or some cool things, stories that you can maybe pick one of those so we can tell our listeners how you help
I do
your
have
clients.
many stories. Some of them are funny. Some of them, I'll tell you one funny story, and then I'll
Okay.
tell you one story that can help maybe business owners. So one funny story is that I represented this lady that during hurricane, I'm not sure which hurricane, during one of the hurricanes, she uh, in the storm, they were renting this apartment, and in the storm, she tried to open the door, right? The
Yeah.
door were inverse. That means that the door were not opening to the inside of the house, they were opening to the outside of the house. So
Okay.
when she opened it a little bit, the wind came and knocked her out, and caused her serious brain damage. So we were going after the owner of the apartment and the owner of the management company, because they were actually the door was taken, like extracted from the hinges, and she flew with the door.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yes, yeah. So and we saw that the screws were really rusted, and they were rusted not because of the rain, because the management company used to wash the doors with a hose every day, and that
Oh,
caused, right. So it was not easy case, because there were many conflicting stories, and how it happened, and but eventually we did get her compensated, and she was very happy. She did have a brain damage, and so one of the funniest thing is that her husband, God bless his soul, he passed away since, but they were trying to demonstrate in my office, in my conference room, how it happened. And
yeah.
he took a glass of water, and he said, open the door. He told his wife to open the door. She opened the door, and he poured water on her. I was almost on the floor. I didn't know. It was very abusive, but I didn't know how to react, because I expected him to show me how she was like
Yeah.
pulling, not like, because he
To
was
throw
showing
the
me
water
it was
to show she
raining
got wet.
and the water, and it was just it was funny at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was funny the way that he managed to try to explain that. I said, why you pour water on her? You can explain it without it. Anyhow, so this is one of the small stories. Another story is a recent case that I had where unfortunately somebody died in a motorcycle accident. So they were blaming, and this was actually somebody who I knew, and they were blaming him for the accident,
Okay.
blaming the motorcyclist for the accident. So the initial police report came out and said that he was at fault by weaving in a lane,
Okay.
or driving somewhere where he was not supposed to drive. I actually went with his father to the different places. So not many attorneys do that, and it's very smart for any business to, if they can invest in a small amount of money in cameras, because this can
Yes.
protect them. And we were canvassing the different areas, the different traffic lights, and for cameras. And then we went to different businesses, and I went to one business that we eventually got him to agree to give us the video, and we saw that the other vehicle actually was at fault. We showed it to police. The police changed the whole version, and amended the police report, and shifted the blame and the fault to the other driver, which was an
Okay.
excellent result. And it doesn't happen all the time, but this is what I'm saying, that you have to think outside of the box. You have to think outside of the box to see what are the possibilities. What can I do? Am I going to sit here in my office and just listen to
Oh,
stories,
I
or if I
like that.
can actually go there and do something myself? So my advice to businesses is always to be able to invest a little bit more in protecting their premises, as far as either cameras, or to have once a year a safety guy to come in and say what are the potential hazards in the place that can cause somebody to fall, slip on water, or if you have a potential roof problem, you have to take care of that immediately, because
Yes.
that can lead to a slip and fall, and obviously a lawsuit pending. Now, sometimes the insurance companies will just leave you out dry, and not protect you, and they
Okay.
don't know that, because there are many exclusions. So you have to read the exclusions, what is excluded from any injury. So some business owners are sometimes excluded in their own policy for themselves if
Oh,
they
wow.
get
I didn't
injured.
know that.
Yes. So sometimes they get excluded. So you have to read the exclusions portions very carefully in each policy.
And I love that. And I have a question, like, for instance, first of all, I can attest because I have a lot of corporate clients that it is, I mean, it's just not about their business, but is that they all of a sudden get a call because they didn't have the right OSHA, the right safety things, guards. So then they get a problem with that, or it's just all those little other things that if they just had put a camera or something like that, or had a safety manual that they're required to have either way, if they had it in place and they put it, all those, it would just be an easy fix. But how do you do, like, for instance, how will you know? Because this is interesting. I seen those policies, insurance policies. How can a business owner know if I'm included? Can they hire an attorney like you to like read their policy and make sure they're protected?
I mean, yes, I'm I'm on the other side usually, so they wouldn't hire me because they need to really to have somebody who is a contract attorney or somebody who is familiar with those type of insurance policy, and also a defense attorney on the other side will probably be able to tell them a lot better on what is excluded and what is not. So I would even go to as far as the attorneys that represent those insurance companies
Okay.
and hire them, invest. Obviously, those are going to be expensive, but it's a one-time thing.
It's an investment.
It's the same contract. It's a best investment because
Yes.
you're going to be, what you're facing, what will be excluded and what will cover you, and that way you'll have a peace of mind.
Yeah.
So and you can always buy addendums. You can always buy a umbrella policy or something to cover you. So this is another additional thing that I would tell business owners is to invest in umbrella policy that will cover all the loopholes that the other ones don't. It's obviously more expensive, and it's not, it's not for everyone, but the ones that can afford it definitely should invest.
And you'll be amazed. I know, and you should talk to they should talk to their insurance agent, because I know that depending, maybe the basic, like the first million or so is expensive, but then when you put umbrella over umbrella, the umbrellas are cheaper actually. So so they can, I mean, their own individual agent. I don't sell insurance, but that actually, once your agent plays around with it and structure it, it ends up not being that expensive really.
Right. And they should have somebody that's very good that explains them everything.
Yes.
Because you got just an agent just that wants to make the percentage of whatever he's making and not explaining them exactly what they're covered and exactly what are the exclusions, they're getting shortchanged. I think that they should know exactly what they're getting. And even agents can be sued if they're not doing their job in explaining you or covering you what you should. So they also have insurance that's called errors and omission that you can go after in cases that there's a slip and they don't give you what you need and what you asked them for. You send an email, you said, I want this, and this, and they don't give you exactly what you did, then it would be probably a case for errors and omission also. But as I said, you just have to choose the right insurance agent to explain you everything to cover you.
Yeah. Well, I usually end with give us a tip, a legal tip, but you've given us so many tips. I lost count already how many tips. Thank you so much for all of this.
Welcome. You're
Thank you
welcome.
for that. And if people want to reach out to you, one of our listeners, and talk to you, what is the best way to reach out to you?
Well, the best way is to call me at my office, 305-652-1113. Very easy number to remember, 305-652-1113. And also to go on my website, the southfloridalawyer.com, also to read about me and my experience and also to ask for advice. I don't charge for the advice. The advice is free. Also, when I do personal injury cases, you don't pay you don't pay anything until I get your results. So that way, you don't have to add more paying out of pocket.
Yeah. Well, like I said, thank you so much, Itzhak. It's Isaac for. I'm gonna tell them to cut that. Sorry, Itzhak. Okay. Thank you once more. Thank you so much, Itzhak, for giving us the time. And remember to subscribe to our podcast if you like, and share it if you found this information useful. Thank you.
Thank you.